Hi, and welcome to a new edition of Common Fitting Adjustments for the Tabula Rasa jacket. We've had a number of people write recently feeling like there's a little too much extra back here in the back of the square armhole. You do have to have a little bit of a fold back here for the sleeve to work. It's not a set-in sleeve. It needs to have some fullness in through here where you have a little break, and so that the sleeve can actually move with the body. You want that sleeve to be able to move. But if you find that there feels like there's just too much excess in there, you want to think about it in two different ways. You want to think about whether it's actually in the back or it's in the sleeve itself. If the back is sitting where you want it, then you don't want to alter the back. You just want to alter the sleeve. And in that case, you would, and you might actually even alter it a little bit down here into the below the side panel if you feel like you have too much everywhere. And the way you can do this is to actually, if you're doing it yourself, look at it kind of in your mind, decide where you think it needs to be adjusted, take it off, put some pins in it, whether you have a dress form or not, and then you'll release your seam that you have in your mock-up and sew a new seam. So here we have adjusted this here for a kind of narrow back right in through here. And you see we still have a fold here. You're going to have a fold there. But hopefully this won't take too much out. We can even go up a little bit further if you want. And that will give you, hopefully, the adjustment that you need. If it needed to come out in both places, you could, just pull both of these out, pin both sides, and then you will change both the front and the sleeve pattern. For the most part, often what you really need to do is adjust the sleeve and not the back. But I can show you how to do both these adjustments on the pattern, so you can do it yourself if you need to. Again, we're taking a little bit of fullness out of that back area where you might feel like you have a little too much. Now, you do have to base it in and test it first, because you might actually get it too tight and it will be uncomfortable when you move, and then you'll have to release it a little bit. So once you know you're happy with it, then you'll transfer it to the pattern. And let's look at how that works right now. Okay, so I have put the mock-up here on the table, and I have actually transferred those pins I pinned in to get the better fit to simply show the amount that we need to take out of the sleeve, the back of the sleeve, and the back of the side panel here. And so now that we have that determined, we're going to take the sleeve pattern, and I'm going to just set this here so I can refer to it. And here is our sleeve pattern. And the place that we are making this adjustment is right along here. So we know this is the back because it has the double notch. And we know that it is it's the sleeve that we have used to make this jacket. So you will have your sleeve that you have used to make your jacket. So I'm going to take my straight ruler and I'm going to measure here, and this is the bottom of the sleeve, and we are taking about 1/2 inch off at the bottom of the sleeve. So we're actually going to be just really narrowing this sleeve pretty much all the way up to here. And if you have a narrow back, that is probably a good thing for you to use. Or even if you don't, if that's how this jacket fits you, you want to make the adjustment that's going to make you feel comfortable. I'm going to come up here about 4 inches, and I'm still at about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to mark that here also on the pattern. So I'm making these little red marks on the pattern that are going to help me know how to adjust it. Now, this we're coming down, and I'm going to measure here. Here is the grain line of the sleeve, So I'm going to measure down from that, and we're going to end the alteration about, let's start with 1. That would be good. About 3¼ inches down from that dot at the top of the sleeve. So we're going to come down 3¼ inches, and by then we're going to be back at our original sleeve cutting line, okay? And so let's take one more measurement in the middle here, and it is also about 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move this way and come here closer so you can see what we've done here. And here are our marks. We have one here at our original line, one here, and one down here. We're taking out of that whole back of the sleeve. So now we're going to take our Fit for Art ruler, and we're going to find a nice line that's going to give us this adjustment. So we won't be able to do this all in one line. That's not absolutely possible. So we're going to start here going from the original line to maybe this first dot right here. And I'm laying the ruler here, and I'm making sure that it intersects the 2 dots I'm trying to connect, and also runs along the original line of the sleeve. And so this is the way you blend. You let this sit here along the original line of the sleeve, and then you're going to come down and create your new line. Okay, so I've drawn part of the line there, and now we're going to look to see if we can connect a couple more pieces. This alteration might require a couple different rounds, but this actually looks pretty good, doesn't it? Let's come a little more this way. So we don't have to blend down here. We're creating a whole new line. We have to blend up here, and we've blended, we have about 1/4 inch there where we're on the same line. So I'm going to draw this, okay, and get it right where I think we need it to be, okay. And so this is our new back line. Now we're going to transfer our notches for the size we're making here, okay. When you do this, actually sometimes it looks more like a set-in sleeve than it would. And you're going to be just coming down here and rearranging this. I'm going to sort of cheat that line just a little right there so that we have this nice new line, and that is going to become our cutting line that is eliminating some of that bulk in the back of the sleeve. It actually makes it quite similar to the front. You could do the same thing in the front if you needed to, although you can see we've already made that scoop in the front where we think that needs to be done. Now the second part of this adjustment, if we look carefully, here on this pink section that's coming down out of the sleeve is that side panel, and we need to also adjust it. And so I'm going to bring it up here to the table, and we're going to set the sleeve and the side panel and the garment aside, and we're going to look at this. And again, we're going to use the back, and this is the back, we know, because it has the double notch, and this one actually has already been altered with this alteration. Isn't that funny? I must have done it for someone else. And so we know that we're coming in 1/2 inch at the bottom, at the top of the side panel, which was the bottom of the sleeve, okay? And let's make sure we're coming down the right amount. So we have here about 4¼ inch alteration. So it looks like we are actually almost spot on here with this new line that's going to come down here and make that side panel a little different too. If we want, we can actually then walk the two. So this is the back side with the double notches right here, and this is the back sleeve, and that is going to connect here at the 5/8 inch seam line, and we have a new line here that's coming just like that, giving you that scoop you need. And here we're coming in at our 5/8 inch at the dot. So I think we have this pattern all ready, and if we've actually stitched it into the mock-up and we know that we like the way it fits, we'll be all ready to cut out an improved fit in the back sleeve of the jacket. Now, On the other side, we took out of both sides. We took out of the back as well as the sleeve. And let's look at that. And then we'll actually make that adjustment on the back. The sleeve adjustment is made pretty much the same way as we made that first one. So we're not going to worry about that. But here we have our back adjustment. And it is coming here like this through both the sleeve and the side and the back, as you can see. And so let's take our back pattern piece, and we have it right here. And just move this way so we can do this together. This is our back. And so our adjustment here is starting 1 1/8 inch below the balance line. So this is the balance line for the smaller sizes. So we're going to measure 1 1/8, and that's where we're starting the adjustment. Okay, and we're ending it down here, right where the sleeve ends into the side panel. And so we're going to measure here also. And in this, because we've spaced the alteration between the back and the sleeve, we're not taking quite as big an alteration. So this is about 1/4 inch here we're going to take off. And by the time we're back here, we're going to be back at our original cutting line, right? We're going to make this adjustment on the cutting line, not on the seam line. We know we made a 5/8 inch seam, and we can trust that and make the adjustment on the cutting line. So now we have to find a nice line here. And let's see if we can find one that connects everything. And that actually looks pretty good. Let's come here and try that out. We're going to there. Alright, so we're going to start a little higher than we had originally pinned, and come down, and then come down, and then extend that back a little further. We won't change the side panel, but we can take a little bit more out of the back. And so here you see the adjustment that I have drawn on, where we're starting here, coming, we're going to move those notches back so they match up with our sleeve, okay? And then we have what we need to make that work. We would have to then adjust the sleeve to a little bit less than we originally adjusted it, so that you would make the sleeve adjustment match the back adjustment. But those are the two ways, adjusting the back or adjusting the sleeve, that you can get a little bit of that extra fullness out of the armhole of the back. Hoping this is going to help you make an improved back if you have a little bit of extra in the back underarm area where the sleeve comes into the back in the square armhole. Just reshape this back, take a little bit of that extra out, and test it first in the mock-up to make sure that you like the way it fits, and then you will have a better pattern and your jacket will feel like it's yours. Good luck and happy sewing.